Hi, welcome back to AutoReview. My name is Patrick and today we are reviewing the Opel Astra OPC in bright yellow. And I tried to match the color with my shirt and my watch. And we are at the Dubai Autodrome. No event taking place, that's why we can actually film here quickly. This car should be driven on the racetrack, however I cannot get on the track. What to do? So what do we have? It's a 2-liter turbo producing 280 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. Torque, we have 400 newton meters between 2,500 and 4,500 RPM. Fuel consumption, as per Opel, 8.1. The way I was driving and obviously trying it out was between 12.5 and 13.5 liters per 100 kilometers. It is very spacious, I have to say, even in the back for a two-door. Then what do we have here? The doors are extremely long. It's very difficult to get in and out if you're in a narrow parking lot. It's kind of easy to get in the back, as enough space as well, as I said, and the boot is sufficiently big as well. I think it's 380 liters of volume. So let me just show you a bit inside, a bit around the car, and then we drive. Alright, so space in the OPC Astra, it's plenty. I have to say it's very comfortable. The seats are nice, have sufficient grip in the back and on the hip and the blacks. We have a sports steering wheel with a bit flat on the bottom. You have again all the controls as usual on the other OPC models I've showed you already. And then we have a 6-speed manual gearbox, which I don't really like so much. The way between the gears is way too long, and you know, you have the power of 280 horsepower, but you can't put it on the road because the gearbox is not really the best, I would say. They need to make this shorter and more precise. Electronic parking brake, cup holder space, big bottles fit in the doors. You have some hidden compartment below in the armrest. A glove compartment is sufficiently big. Now this one, you have the Astra OPC as well available in a higher spec level, which comes with 20-inch rims, which seen on the OPC video of the Insignia. Has the infotainment screen like on the Insignia and has a reverse camera. So this one is very pixelated, very old. I don't like this so much, but it's all about driving. So let me just show you how to hop in the back quickly and then the boot and we drive. So let me open the door. Here we go. Pretty easy to get inside, and I have sufficient space. So let's go and show you the boot. Okay, from the rear, what do we have from the rear? Obviously you can see the wing on top, which is stock or standard on the OPC models. On the bottom we have a dual exhaust, left and right. Sounds very nice if it's cold. Doesn't sound too much in my opinion when it's warm. OPC logo on the right. Okay, Liberty. This one is sold through Liberty in Dubai, Sheikh Zayed Road, next to Mall of the Emirates, the Golden Diamond Park. Now, funny thing is, how do you open the boot? You would imagine, okay, it's a little gap here. However, nothing works. So, what do? Magic. You just press the Opel logo and it's going to pop open. Boot space, 380 liters as far as I remember correctly. Sorry, it's very messy with all the stuff I'm driving around, equipment. But now enough of the car, let's go on the road. Okay, so Astra OPC, what do I think? First of all, it's damn difficult to get the seatbelt because I told you the door is very long, so you really have to stretch to get it. First thing, so let's just drive and tell you why we drive. Told you the gears. I think the way of the gears is way too long. It should be less, shorter, and more direct, more crisp. It doesn't feel very crisp. Then the sport button, OPC button, I actually tried them on a speed bump, and this is where you actually feel it. And in the corners when you go fast, obviously you can't go too fast here in Dubai on the roads. We don't have nice mountain roads or anything like this, but you feel it really stiffens the suspension, which helps it in cornering. Then, sorry. So sound-wise, I would say it's not bad. It's nice. Again, it's built for everyone and not for the young people only, or not for the ones who are deaf, who need to hear a bit more. But as I said, I prefer the cars to be a bit louder and to have a bit more of exhaust note. You hear it inside, a bit outside, but I would feel it would be nice if it would be a bit more. Then drive-wise, it's really nice. I like it. Problem what I have is if I go backwards, meaning parking, The C-pillar and the rear of the car is completely invisible. You have no clue where the car is. It has parking sensors in the back. However, as all the Opels have the same problem, they are not loud enough, especially if you listen to the radio. You have to put down the volume of the radio. I know it from other brands that when you basically reverse, automatically it mutes the radio, or at least puts the volume down, which helps. It would be a nice thing to do as well for the future for Opel. Then what other things I do not like so much is, as I said, the screen, but you have a different option. You can go in a high-end option. This one is sold as it is here now 135,000 dirhams, which would be 27,000 euro. I'm not quite sure how much this car is in Germany or in Europe, but it's more than that for sure, I can tell you. Now, the next spec option, which I mentioned, would have the touchscreen as from the Insignia, as you can see, plus the reverse camera and the 20-inch wheels, alloy wheels. You can get it at Opel for a little bit more. Please don't ask me how much exactly. But I would recommend to go for that one, because these rims, even though they're 19-inch, I don't really like the design so much. They don't look as aggressive as present as the 20-inch which you can have on this car. Seats are comfortable, space in the back is sufficient, boot space as well is sufficient enough. So what else? It has an automatic beam light function, which I tried yesterday night. However, I don't know how it detects, what kind of system it has to detect things. It was just constant on, and I would have assumed that if a car from the front comes, it will dim it down, but it didn't, so I'm not quite sure what's the purpose of that. So I turn it off. Then, if you push the OPC button, it becomes red. You can turn it off and on in the system, which is a funny feature. At least you know that you're in OPC mode. But other than the suspension, I don't really feel that there is any difference between Sport, OPC and normal. I think it's just the suspension getting stiffer and harder. In other reviews I read that the car becomes very, very hard. This nonsense, it doesn't become really hard, it just becomes more sporty, and I like it this way, so nothing negative to say about that. It has a USB slot for charging the iPhone or Android. I got a comment in one of the other videos that I only talk about iPhones. I'm sure you can charge Android with USB and Nokia's and all the rest as well. Then, well, what else? Not sure. I would, however, even though I like to get a car in a flashy color and to have something that is present on the road, would not go for this yellow. I think they have a beautiful blue, and I'm not quite sure whether they have a green one that you have on the Corsa OPC, but the blue one looks really amazing, so I would recommend to go for the blue one. Yeah, well, one thing actually which I want to mention as well is it has an echo function. Yes, a sports hot hatch can have an echo function. What it does basically is when you turn off the car and turn on the car, automatically it will be on, which is a good thing. Rather than having to turn it on, you have to turn it off if you don't like it. What it does is you come to a traffic light, it's red, basically a start-stop system. If you don't have the gear engaged and if you're not on the clutch, you just have the gear in neutral and you don't touch the clutch, the engine will turn off. One thing, however, with that is the RPM design with the auto stop and off function got me a bit, was a bit weird in the beginning for me, because it feels constantly like you're like revving high, but actually you're just above 1000. If you don't really pay attention to it and if you don't look at it, you might even stall the engine. Actually one more thing that I forgot as well is the clutch is immensely long. To push the clutch, I think it's like this much of a way. That shouldn't be in a sports car. It should be like a crisp, small, short clutch with short gear ways. That Opel has to improve. Yeah. Look at Mazda NX-5, for example. They have awesome clutch and awesome short gearbox. I guess that's pretty much it. If you like it, if you like this design, if you like the brand, and 20-inch looks awesome on the car if you go for the 20-inch option, there's nothing I can really say bad about it. I can only recommend to get this car. Yeah. So if you like this video, please share it, like it, leave comments below the video. You'll have my Facebook page where you will find more pictures of the car which I took, so you can look into it. And yeah, I'll see you next time, and don't forget to subscribe.